this is the first episode,
Yeah.
and lots of stuff has been going on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty exciting stuff. Survivor premiered.
Premiered, and another episode happened.
Yeah, episode 2, we totally know how that turned out. But episode 1, I would say big success, Nick. Yes.
Yeah, huge.
I was saying, I watched the whole thing. Totally not while I was at work yesterday. And it just turned out so great. Not to pat ourselves on the back too much, but
I watched it at work a lot.
The way that some of the cuts and stuff that you have in there are so perfect. Like there's the one where I think it's Cody says like Nazario is a wild card, and it cuts to Nazario just going, "I'm a bit of a wild card." It's just so
dude. Listen, I took an editing class in college, and then I didn't really do much with it ever. Until recently, until last year when I made the like Hall of Fame award videos, and I was like, "Oh, I remember doing this. This is fun." And with this Survivor thing, I was like, let me just go all in. So I would sit and listen to like, because players give one-on-one confessionals. There's breakout rooms where people are talking. So I would just listen like on the train to work, sometimes at work when I'm just doing work, I'll listen to like those breakout rooms.
Sure.
And then I'll try and remember where like those cuts happen. So like I was literally listening to like Nazario's breakout room, and he was like, people will probably think I'm a wild card. And then I was listening to Cody's, and Cody was like, Nazario, he's just a wild card. And I was like, you guys didn't know each other said that.
Isn't that the name of the episode? Wild card?
Wild card, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Naming the episodes was fun. But no, it's great. Yesterday's episode happened. Don't want to spoil it, but go check it out. In my opinion, the first episode was the worst one. I think it gets better and better from there, but
I would tend to agree. No, it turned out great. And it seems like the community has really taken to it. We've gotten a lot of really good feedback, a lot of people wanting to be on the show. Season 2, I think it's safe to say, is happening. Season 2 is coming. We're doing season 2. I won't be on it because I won season 1.
Correct.
So the macaw, I like that one. So no, I'm excited to see where we can go. Nick, can you give us any inside baseball on season 2? Because I know something pretty exciting that I think we should maybe share with the public now. I'll just say this. Women will be on the show.
I was gonna say that. I was waiting.
We've got women.
We've got women.
The show.
We've got women.
Yep. And it's not Maggie or Brittany
or Anna. Yeah.
Or Anna. Or
yeah.
Are there any other women?
Melissa or Kelly? But if any of you wanted to play, you'd be welcome, except for Anna, because I can't have.
I said that to you the other day. I'm like, you're gonna have Anna on the show, and you can't keep a secret from your fiance.
It's not that no, I would never keep a secret from my fiance because I love her.
It's good. That was good. Good.
Thank you.
Good save.
But more so like after each episode. So I love Survivor. I've always loved Survivor. I like watched it when I was a kid with my mom. I've like applied to be on the show like twice. Haven't put in the effort that I really should if I really want to get on it, but so maybe I'll get back into that eventually. But so I love Survivor. Me and Anna watch it when a new season comes out, even though the new seasons are way worse than the old seasons, but it's still some Survivors better than no Survivor. Bye, Tim. Tim's back. You're alive. Great. Thanks for not dying. But as I was saying, so after each episode that we shot, I would literally go into the other room with Anna and talk about it and be like, Eddie did this, he should have done this, and Nazario should have seen this coming, and he could have done something different, and this person could do this to win, and this is how, and like I would just talk about it for another 30 minutes. So like Anna would have to be in a different location because she couldn't hear what other people are saying about her on my computer. And then when she came home from that other location, I would just want to be like, Tim said this about you when you weren't looking.
I mean, and so that happened a little bit with season 1, not like a crazy. I don't think it was to the detriment of the game, but there were definitely times where like
there were a lot of
me
people
and
who
Cody
knew
or me and Jacoby or me and just me. I was doing it with everyone. I was telling everyone what everyone said all the time.
there were a lot of people who knew each other, and
Yeah.
I definitely want to move away from that in future seasons to where there's fewer and fewer people who actually know each other.
Yeah.
But because the 4 guys who aren't in like the trivia, like Liam, Giancarlo,
They were
Paul, and Eddie,
great.
like they were all talking about it too. So
But yeah,
like outside of it for sure.
They were phenomenal. And even like there were I mean, I've had access to these videos for months now at this point. I didn't deep dive into them because I wanted to save it a little bit, but I like how personally I really liked Paul. Like Paul was on my team. I really enjoyed getting to know him.
Mhm.
I barely
Careful not to spoil.
No, I know. Just mean like from what I got to interact
Yeah.
with him, Eddie, Liam, and Giancarlo, all really, really great guys. And watching episode 1, there was a lot of the sentiment seemed to be the same across the trivia people. Like there were many times in episode 1 where it was like, oh, this person's really great. Like they seem like a really cool guy. I think they can mesh with the team. Like I think Nazario at one point was like, Liam's wearing an awesome open like Hawaiian shirt. Yeah. And it was like, I'm glad that they seem to have fun with it and enjoy the process.
You can see it because it's in the premiere, but if you watch the premiere, Eddie's the first one voted out.
Yeah.
It's been over a week now, so I think we can spoil it. But Eddie's the first one voted out. And there's a moment, like I literally go, okay, are we ready to vote? And Nazario pauses and goes, Eddie, are you wearing an Eagle Fang Cobra Kai t-shirt?
Yeah.
And Eddie's like, oh yeah. And everybody just looks at Nazario because the plan is to vote Eddie. And now Cody, Rue, and Robert are all like, is this motherfucker about to switch his vote because Eddie's wearing an Eagle Fang t-shirt?
That's awesome.
It's hilarious. But no, it was really fun. I'm looking forward to more of it in the future, and I'm looking forward to when all of it's out so I can talk about it more. There's going to be a live reunion show after the finale with most of the guys coming back. But once it's out and I can talk to people about it, I'm excited. And some of them will be transitioning over to Fandom.
That's true.
Yeah,
I didn't know that until the green rooms were set up, and I had the doc too, and I'm like, who are these people? Oh, these are the Survivor guys. No, I think yeah, I'm excited for everybody to see the rest of it too. I am excited for the live reunion purely because I hope it lives up to the dream that was said to me of that like some of us will look radically different. Like Paul is like a bald man with a beard, and I hope he shows up with like long blonde hair, and we're just like, what is going on? Like that's I hope there's something like that, or maybe like by the time we shoot that in like because it's live, right? So we're doing that in February.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be 87 pounds, and everyone will be. Is light.
That's very light.
That's very light. I'm like
unhealthy.
A twig. I'm like just a stick. And people are like, Tim, you're so healthy. And then I'm like, no,
they would not be saying that.
I'm Jack Skellington.
They would be very concerned. Good God. Tim, let's talk about Fandom a little bit.
Yeah, I think we should. I think so. Important.
There have been. I want your opinion on this. Fandom's an interesting game because it allows. It seems to, and this is just based on patterns, but it seems to allow one person to be really dominant at a time. There's always people challenging that person, and sometimes the dominant like they trip and stumble, and then someone. But like for the most part, there was like I had the belt for a while. Then it was the era of Joe, and it's been the era of Brittany.
Yeah.
Is Tyler the next? Because like, is this like Tyler's start, or does he? Because I think it might be.
That's a good question. See, it's funny you put it that way, because when you're right, Joe had his era,
Yes.
Big time, especially.
And that's not to say he couldn't have another, but it now is not the Joe era.
Anybody could, if they put in the work, can have their era. When the McCaw returns this season, she's giving me the finger. I think that anybody can have it. It's just,
the Hall of Famer McCaw.
Yeah, that's true. That's been announced at this point. Yeah.
Yes.
The awards happened. No, I'm thinking of like the Joe, but because when I think of the Joe era, it is so intertwined with Brittany. In the sense that she was always challenging him, and then she eventually beat him and started the Brittany era. And so I kind of think of, you're totally right. It was the Joe era for sure, because he was the champion for a full year. He earned it. I think that's a
teams belts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, beating like multiple. He's been the team's champion how many times with Wookiee? Is it been?
They were teams champions twice. And I think, listen, Duel of the Fates is fantastic. I think we'll see Posse Galore become the champions this year, but
I could see it.
For sure. But yeah, no, I think that was the Joe era, and that's not because like other people weren't in that era, but that 1 year, like Joe held it from beginning to end. And yes, Brittany challenged twice. She was also
trying to say goodnight to me. Show your arm. I love you. Mwah. That's all he would say.
But we're shooting that. But we're shooting this at 3 p.m.
Yeah. No, I do think that,
because like people always intertwine. Like Scully and you were always present during my time, and Brittany was always present during Joe's, and then Joe was present during Brittany's, and like Abel was in there, and Tyler held the belt during what I would call the Brittany era. But I wouldn't have called it the Tyler era. I think
or the Abel era.
Sure. But I think we're about to see either the Tyler era or just like a mix of a couple people.
So I think one of two things can happen. Maybe one of three. Here's my out of left field prediction. Not out of left field. I think the Tyler era probably is the main prediction. I think that it makes sense. He was scary good all last season.
Especially at the end.
Well, we didn't schedule him for the first half, so.
Okay, so yes, definitely at the end.
He made it very clear we didn't schedule him.
But even like in the summer, I was like, Tyler's still just falling short of Joe and just falling short of Brittany.
Yeah, no, he was so good in the back
and
half.
By the end, it was like, holy crap, who is this?
It was disgusting. And so I think here's again my option. I guess there's 4 now that I'm thinking about it. Okay. 1 is the Tyler era.
Yes.
Option 4. This is the 4 here.
We're skipping 2 and 3. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to go back and I'll explain why. 4 could be anyone's ball game of Tyler, Javi, Robert,
Joe,
Rue, Joe, fucking David, Igor. Any of these people, I could see it being the era of the belt changing hands.
Okay.
Option 2 and 3, my wild card picks, are a surprise era of Rue or a surprise era of Robert. Robert held the belt this year. He earned it. I think he earned it well.
Yeah.
The reason I think the Robert one is maybe a little less likely is because of the same reason why it's less likely for me. He's got the kid. He's very, very entrenched and busy in that, as he should be, frankly.
Yeah, 100%.
And the fact that he can still contend to the level that he does is insane. And yet, I still think there is a strong possibility he could come back, win the belt, and begin an era of Robert where he just crushes. And the game is so crazy where even if you win by 1 point, 2 points, or you're knocking people out, you could still call it your era if you hold the belt. And I think Robert has the ability to do that. I think Rue especially has the ability to do that. So I think the more likely scenario is Tyler, just based on how he played last year versus those other 2. But I also think there's a very strong possibility that we see a season coming up here where there is just the belt is flip-flopping around like crazy. Now, it might not necessarily be people on the lower tier, not lower tier, but lower of the top echelon. Yes.
Oh, okay, sure.
So not lower ranked, but lower of the top echelon, like your Jacobys, your Holtzmans, your Eli's, your Antonios, your Menchakas.
The people who always like make it to or close to a contender match, but never really.
Yes, but like I said, but any of those people, if they put in the extra work, can win the belt. It's so possible at this point. And I think that, but I think we could see an era where, you know, Tyler defends the first time and then loses to Rue. And then Rue plays and defends and then loses to Joe. Joe defends twice and then loses to Javi because he's burnt out. Javi doesn't defend and win and loses to Eli. It's like, who fucking knows? It could be kooky. And that would be fun.
Yeah, but I agree.
All this to be said, I still think you're probably right.
It's just that there's a lot less luck involved than like a general movie trivia competition, because no one can know everything about all movies. But if you work hard enough, you can know everything about all the movies in fandom.
Unfortunate.
Correct.
To the detriment of your partner. Yeah.
Indeed, yes. Unless your partner wants to join for some reason, and then every time
your partner at the time that you did it was Domino's Pizza.
That as well.
Yeah, that happened.
And now it's been years later, and every time you try to sit down with your partner and watch a movie, she just wants to do anything else.